see today is a version of what this show could be in terms of cast size and musical arrangements and things like that. But we're in no way wedded to anything, nothing set in stone. So we'd love to hear thoughts from the hive mind afterwards. Would be really appreciated, both in terms of creatively and also how best to get this on a stage eventually. Thank yous to James at Northampton, hello on camera, Gareth down at Salisbury, and Dominic at the Sits in Glasgow for all their support this week. And thank you to these guys who have done an amazing amount of work, as you will see, in a very short period of time they've just had this week. Housekeeping wise, Frozen are rehearsing next door, and we're not entirely sure what their call is today. So they might be doing a run, because I think the new cast go in. So if you hear Let It Go, just let it go. Running time, we think, give or take, about 90 minutes, probably a bit less. If you can't wait that long, Lou's are just out there on the left. That's it. Let Ellie say creative things.
Just to add on, hi, I'm Ellie, I'm the director. This is something that began a little while ago as a series of workshops at the Royal Academy of Music, and some of the students who took part in that workshop are here today performing, including our MD Livy, who has arranged all of the music for this production. As Dom said, this is a version of what a production could be. We've split the cast between 4 actors and then 4 others performing the music just for ease this week. But we could anticipate this as a show with 4 actor musicians singing, or a bigger cast and a chorus providing the music. But this will hopefully give you an idea of how the music sits alongside the text. Enjoy. Thank you very much. Done.
Just so easy, isn't it?
Just like that.
With a click.
Light.
Heat.
Salvation.
All it takes to light your home.
Heat your water.
Turn on your stove.
Charge your phone.
Switch on the telly.
Toast your bread.
Start your car.
Fly your plane.
Freeze your food.
Make your medicines.
Build your vaccines.
Maintain your mother's life support.
Banish the monsters from your children's bedroom.
Hold back the darkness and keep the cold at bay.
All it takes
Is a simple click of a switch.
It's that easy.
So easy.
almost too easy.
You'd be forgiven for thinking it really was that quick.
That simple.
But you'd be wrong.
That single solitary click, that spark, takes time.
A long.
Long time to happen. Millions of years.
Billions.
Starting in the flaming crucible of a virgin earth. A churning inferno of rocks and liquid magma.
Which are melted and fused. Melted and fused over and over like a glass blower, dipping the earth in and out of a furnace, forging fathoms of rock miles and miles deep. Sandstone.
Quartz.
Flint.
And as they cool, they compress, groaning like an animal cracking and splintering in the heat.
Until great tectonic forces take up this rough mass and shift it like clay, thumbing and twisting the continents this way and that.
Stretching and moulding the earth between their rough and calloused hands.
Smashing together mountains and creating new landscapes.
Rivers.
Valleys.
Oceans. In this case, a vast, flat, shallow ocean at the high end of the northern hemisphere, stretching far out onto the horizon.
A great murky swamp teeming with plants and plankton and flora and fauna.
Beasts of all shapes and sizes with long necks and even longer teeth.
Beautiful and terrifying creatures that roam these seas for millions of years, hatching,
Breeding.
Fighting.
Dying.
their bones and bodies drifting to the ocean floor and sifting through the sand and sediment, slipping decayed between the cracks in the limestone where nature hammers them like a blacksmith, crushing and compressing them over eons, breaking them on the wheel of history.
Until nothing is left of these magnificent creatures but a memory.
A thick, black, sticky memory buried deep underground.
Oil.
Oil. and streams and reams of the stuff, ripping through the strata of the earth like fat through a side of beef.
All of it just lying there, waiting.
Waiting for someone to dig down and take it.
Getting it down there, those millennia of tectonic labour, well, that was easy.
Getting it back up, well, that is harder.
It takes billions of dollars.
Thousands of lives.
Incalculable hours of investigation and examination and excavation and digging and drilling and scraping and sweat and graft and labour and muscle and sheer bloody force of will to drag it kicking and screaming out of the darkness and into the light.
Also that you
Can do that.
At the click of a switch.
It took 2 billion years just to make that click.
that single spark.
And all those years, all that labour, all that money, all those lives were undone just like that. In an instant.
With a click.
With a single spark.
On July the 6th, 1988,
On a floating furnace in the middle of the North Sea.
A single spark blew the whole bloody thing sky high.
And set the sea on fire.
Ding dong goes the castle bell. So fairly well, my mother, that we need the altar child. The coffin shall be blessed. To sing, to pray, to carry my soul away. Stand at ease, bend your knees, out to the west and to the east. We're all silly time on his knees. The couple shall 1, 2, 3. Stand at ease, bend your knees. Salute to the king, bow to the queen. Till the visualize I can see.
Stand on the east coast of Scotland.
Aberdeen, say, or Inverlochy.
maybe Wick or Keys or John O'Groats.
Go to the furthest point you can before the world spills over into the water and you reach the end of everything.
And then go further.
Set your sights northeast and keep going.
Over miles and miles of ocean.
Rippling currents and churning tides.
Sails and seabirds and school of shimmering mackerel.
Broad-shouldered trawlers that bully their way through the water, scooping up fish for the hungry bellies of Britain.
Further and further and further and further.
Until the sight of land is just a distant memory. Then when you've got that far,
Go a little bit further still.
And there, just there,
You'll find it.
Piper Alpha.
The first time you see it, you think, well, that doesn't make any sense.
I mean, how could something that massive just be sitting in the middle of the ocean like that? Surely it would sink.
There's no way that thing can be real.
But it is.
Piper Alpha, the monster as some call it, stands on 4 gargantuan legs buried 400 feet beneath the freezing cold waters.
The kind of cold that kills a man.
But not the monster.
Really a goose pimple as it stands ankle deep in thick and muddy sediment.
And beneath that mud,
Oil.
Tons of the stuff. A total of $67 billion, give or take.
more than enough to keep the lights on for a few more years and make a few men very, very, very rich in the process.
The men of Occidental Petroleum.
Who sank their first wells way out west in California in 1920.
Before moving on to Venezuela, Peru, Bolivia, Trinidad.
Even Libya, where the oil flowed like milk and honey. Until this kid called Gaddafi came up out of nowhere with a bunch of young punks with Kalashnikovs.
Declaring that he was running the oil fields now, not to mention the whole damn country.
Gaddafi threatened to nationalise the oil fields and cut off supply to the west, saying,
Libya has lived for 5,000 years without oil, and it is ready to live another 5,000 years without it. The question is, can you?
Seeing how things were heating up in the Middle East, Occidental reckoned they might start looking elsewhere for the oil.
I mean, who else might follow suit? Iran? Iraq? Kuwait?
I mean, after all, a mile below the ocean can't be any more dangerous than Libya.
No bombs, no bullets, no crackpot dictators.
No threat of nationalisation or a bloody civil war.
Just a whole lot of water and a whole lot of fish.
And what are the mackerel going to do? Unionise?
On the 27th of December 1976, after months and months of setbacks, Piper finally broke ground and the oil began to flow.
Everybody at Occidental breathed a huge sigh of relief.
By 1979, the platform was producing 317,000 barrels of oil a day at $40 a barrel.
$12 million in a single day.
More than any other rig in history.
Of course, but it couldn't last forever.
Well, nothing lasts for it.
By 1985, you're looking at $30 a barrel tops.
By 86, you were lucky to get 10.
Oil production fell by half worldwide. Half!
Belts were tightened.
Budgets were slashed.
Working hours lengthened.
12-hour days, now 15.
Sometimes 18.
With no pay for time off.
Not that anyone was complaining.
Jesus Christ, you were lucky enough if you could hang on to a job.
In 1986 alone, 22,000 jobs were lost.
That's a bloody long line outside the job centre.
A lot of empty pockets.
A lot of kids going hungry.
If you had a job, you should shut up and be thankful.
There's no sense in rocking the boat with talks about unions and workers and wages.
Health and safety and all that shit.
Just keep your head down and keep working.
No one here is paid to think.
Bob Ballantyne, electrician on board Piper. You know, besides there's worse places to ride out a recession. I mean, sure the monster had seen better days, but you know, I had a pretty good reputation. Although there were stories.
Gas bubbles rising to the surface, sparking, igniting with bursts of blue flame.
Pipes so old and tired they were basically held together with paint.
Fire detectors that didn't actually detect fire.
Yeah, in the past, I would have done something about it. You know, talked to the unions, organised a strike.
But the problem is, there is no union.
No unity.
It's the Wild West of the North Sea.
You got workers out here from all over the country.
All over the
A
world.
dozen different languages.
30 different contractors all over the rig.
Covering electrics and engineering.
Drilling and diving and digging.
Christ, even the cooking and cleaning was subcontracted.
The fact is, people like 18-hour days. They like the extra money that they can make, no matter the risks.
Everyone is out here for the same reason.
To make as much money as they can and fuck off.
No one's here for the scenery.
No one's here for the view.
Every man's out here for himself.
Well, they've come from fuck all. And now, because of the rig, well, they've got a house and a wife and a nice little car and a mortgage to pay and 2 kids to feed. What the fuck do they care about unions? They've got a life to upkeep. They're in it now, and there's no going back. And I am not blaming them. I mean, I've got a wife and an ex and 2 kids. I don't see them much. We don't talk. My eldest, Amanda, she won't, The point is, I've put my neck on the line enough time for the unions and got bugger all but a note on my record saying, not required back. I figured this time I'd just keep my mouth shut, keep my job. It might be such a bad idea for the change.
I mean, it's not like there's no precautions in place.
That would be bloody irresponsible.
There's dozens of safety protocols all over the rig.
Hundreds.
All sorts of valves and switches and deadlocks in place, designed to avert disaster and save lives.
Like this one.
There.
Can you see?
15 feet overhead, amidst a nest of pipes and wires and cables.
You might not see it, but it's there.
Pressure safety valve number 504.
PSV 504.
Now, it doesn't look like much, but pay attention.
Because that thing is going to be important.
There's hundreds of these valves all over the rig.
300, I should know, I've counted.
And everyone needs checking and repairing.
Alex Rankin, valve technician. Originally, there was supposed to be 4 of us checking every single one of these. But 2 blokes was cheaper than 4, I guess. We were supposed to be doing this during a shutdown.
But that would mean losing $2 million a day, which Occidental
Not to mention the British government, who took 75% of the profits in petroleum revenue tax.
decided they could in no fucking way afford.
Not for a second.
The oil cannot stop flowing.
The oil must never stop flowing.
So, it's just 2 of us checking every single one of these buggers 12 hours a day, every day, for pretty much 6 months straight. Which gets a bit tedious, mate.
So what the hell does PSV 504 actually do?
If the pressure gets too big inside a pipe, a safety valve lets out the contents nice and gentle like, so there's no chance of a dangerous build-up, in this case, of gas condensate.
Liquid gas. that's sucked up with the crude oil and then siphoned off to be cleaned up and processed before it's re-injected into the pipeline and sent to the mainland to heat your bathwater or boil your eggs.
And that re-injecting happens right here at condensate injection pump A.
Now that is going to be important too, so remember that.
Remember it.
2 pumps, right? A and B. They work non-stop, 24 hours a day, one or the other, always running because...
Well, if they don't, then well, that's pretty bad news.
Yes. These pumps don't just send gas back to the mainland. They power the generators that run the rig. And if the rig loses power, the oil stops flowing. And if the oil stops flowing, well, I lose my job.
I lose my job.
I'll lose my job.
I'll lose my job.
Mahmoud Khan, offshore analytic chemist.
Stuart Sutherland, cleaner. Just. Well, cleaner.
People think it's all just big blokes with wrenches out on a rig, but somebody's got to do the science.
I'm actually a student doing literature at Glasgow.
I run the gas chromatograph, water density tests, oil and gas analysis.
Well, I was just kind of pissing about, and let's be honest, what's the point of fucking poetry in the middle of a recession?
The freshwater system needs to be constantly checked for cleanliness and contamination.
What I really want to do is travel, see the world.
You don't want the drinking water out here to get infected because, well, 200 guys with the shits, it's not a pretty sight.
Dad's a doctor. Doesn't get why I want to spend my summer scrubbing toilets. He's like, you're wasting your time, Stu. Wasting my time? What are you talking about? What else am I doing sitting around the marsh reading Shelley if not wasting my fucking time? Well, there's other jobs, he says. You don't have to. But I told him no.
The money's good.
Very good.
You can make $1,000 in 2 weeks. 2 weeks!
2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. That's the work schedule.
1 foot on land, 1 on sea.
Beats working in a fucking fish factory.
Truth be told, I always find the 2 weeks back kind of rough, you know?
I mean, I can read fucking books anywhere. But just imagine where I could go, what I could do with that. Che Guevara had been up and down South America by 23. And the furthest I've been is fucking Scum D.
But it's more than the money.
I made 50k easy last year. Enough to buy a house, 2 houses if I wanted.
It's something else, it's...
I don't want to mind, not yet.
When I come back on land, I see all my mates scraping by in their grants and that, their handouts, and there's me with $2,000 in my back pocket and bringing in the beers like fucking no one's business.
Out here, we're on the edge of something, yeah? The frontier. Out here, we are changing the world. Keeping the lights on, keeping the home fires burning. Building a better future for all of us. I mean, who wouldn't want to be part of that?
I just save it all up and send it home to Mum for safekeeping.
Not that my folks understand. They just keep asking, when are you going to get a normal job, Mahmoud? A normal life?
People ask me, isn't it weird living with your mum at 45?
Every time we speak, it's the same thing. You're not going to find a wife at sea.
She does get worried, mind. Like why I don't settle down, you know?
Our grandchildren are not going to be found digging away at the bottom of the ocean. Why do you have to go all the way out there? Because that's where the oil is, Dad. No one's sinking wells and polished shields, are they?
And it's just easier, you know, like living at home. I've got fresh food and clean laundry, no questions asked.
And that's why we don't talk much anymore. You know, it's hard to talk when it's always the same question.
And if she does, you know, start asking questions, I am back on the rigs in 2 weeks. Just back on the job, no fuss, no problem, no worries.
Why would I want a normal life? A normal job? Like, how many normal jobs have a view like this? Eh? How many people wake up to the sky and the ocean and nothing in between?
And besides, someone's got to clean the bogs, right?
There's 200 of us out here, all of us strangers,
Keeping things running smoothly.
Keeping the oil pumping.
keeping the money coming.
No matter what.
The oil cannot stop flowing.
The oil must never stop flowing.
Friday, I got to the house, I'm walking the small train, and my heart is saving. Now it's the weekend, we're stepping up bowling, spending our money, come on, let's enjoy it. Once we've had several, and out comes another, addicted to drunken, and all it can make it. Now it's the weekend, we're spending our money, Vegas and caring for one night only.
bloody permit to work signed off in triplicate by 3 different blokes I've never met from 3 different contractors from God knows where. I spend my life up and down this rig like a whore's knickers, chasing operators and managers for signatures just so I can change a light bulb or scratch my arse. By the time I get my permit filled out, we're already behind. You know, just managing to winch the valve off the piping and down for inspection, when the lead hand, Will Smith, Fresh Prince, a belly we call him, tells us to wrap up. It's 6 o'clock and he is buggered if he's going to let us run into overtime. Cheap bastard. But we can't just leave the pump open with no valve, so we seal it off with a couple of flanges, these big great metal discs, and one of the maintenance guys, well, he just screws it on with his fingers.
With his fingers, mind. That's important.
He's got a spanner right next to him on the pipe, but he doesn't use it.
A solitary spanner.
Nestled in an oily rag.
Remember that, because that's important too.
You're supposed to tighten the nuts properly with a spanner, then check it and double check it and pressure test it, but the whole bloody thing was offline. I mean, they're not using it anytime soon. Besides, they've got pump B running, so it's all good. I tell Fresh Prince I'm suspending the work till tomorrow. I sign the permit off like I'm supposed to, and I leave it in the control room desk like I was told. Job done. I'm off for a shower of shit and a shifty what's on at the cinema.
Did we mention?
There's a cinema.
Oh, finest picture house in the North Sea.
The Odeon of the ocean.
Very eclectic programme.
Oh aye, sometimes the Norwegians, they bring over skin flicks, Debbie does Dallas and that kind of thing. But tonight it's just caddy shack, and I can't be arsed. After 15 hours on shift, I just want to clean up, get me some grub and crawl into bed.
Now, here's where things get confusing.
Because in the next hour alone, there are 4 staff changeovers in 4 different areas.
Changeovers and maintenance.
Phase 1.
Lead production.
The control room.
And with each changeover, a handover of paperwork, a sorting through logbooks and diaries, double checking all the work permits.
Except the one that clearly states not to use condensate injection pump A under any circumstances.
Because the pressure safety valve has been removed.
Where did the permit go?
Nobody knows.
Where does any piece of paperwork go?
9:45 p.m.
I'm in the accommodation block with a cuppa, and I'm just heading back to my cabin to finish my book. I'm doing the Open University, studying the Enlightenment. I'm reading Candide. It's pretty good. There's a library on board, but it's mostly westerns and whatnot. It's a couple of pornos. It's nice to be reading something decent for a change.
I'm turning over in my bed like my roommate is snoring like a bastard. And to be quite fucking frank, I'm fucking tired and I've had enough.
I'm in the cinema watching Caddyshack. I bloody love Bill Murray. Did you see Ghostbusters? We came, we saw, we kicked his ass. Oh, he's just great, man. He's great.
I'm mopping up a pile of vomit. There's no booze on the rigs, but this guy's still got the shakes from his last night drinking on the mainland. You can see it in his eyes. You learn not to go near the blokes like that, not for a few days till they've sobered up. And rather than focus on the vom by my feet, I think about what I'm going to do next year, where I'm going to go. Maybe I should go to America. On the road, you know? One of the lead heads, he worked in Louisiana. He said it's amazing. For starters, no rain. Growing up in Aberdeen, I've had all the fucking rain I can take. Out there, they've got nothing but sunshine and alligators. You can even have them for breakfast. Tastes like chicken, apparently.
Everything's normal and noisy.
Life on a rig is one constant noise, a timpani of pumps and pipes and engines.
The monster's always hungry. It's always growling.
An ever-constant vibration that rattles your bones and shatters your teeth.
You get used to it. No worse than the bastard snoring.
I guess the point where you don't even notice it.
Except when an alarm goes off.
In the control room.
A red light throbs like a bee sting.
Condensation injection pump B's just tripped. She stopped pumping gas into the main generators.
What about the backup diesel generators?
Ah, they're temperamental bastards at best.
Try and restart the pump.
No joy.
Try again.
Oh no, the backup generators failed.
What does that mean?
We've got 30 minutes before the power goes out and the whole rig goes into shutdown.
Before the oil stops flowing.
But the oil cannot stop flowing.
The oil must never stop
We
flowing.
need to switch to pump
It's
A.
currently offline.
Disconnected for maintenance.
Well, can we bring it back online?
Restarting pump A.
Oh, no luck.
Whoa, what the...
Try again.
No, something's not right.
It's not working.
Hold back on pump A, do you hear me?
What?
I said hold back on starting pump A. Hold back!
Contact!
You might well be wondering, what the hell just happened?
Unless you were paying attention.
Were you paying attention?
That sound you just heard, that awful piercing sound?
Is the sound of 45 kilos of gas condensate squeezing out the corners of the blind flange that had only been tightened by hands.
And not with a spanner like you're supposed to.
Pumping out at 110 kilos a minute and filling the room in almost an instant.
Until the gas happens upon a solitary spanner nestled in an oily rag.
The one left there by Rankin's co-workers only hours before.
Isolated and insulated.
So that when nearly 50 kilos of electrostatically charged gas rubs up against it like some filthy flammable animal,
The friction causes static, and the static causes a spark.
A tiny spark. Almost nothing.
So small. So simple.
A tiny little spark.
Is everybody okay?
Huh?
Is everyone okay?
Hit the shutdown, hit the emergency shutdown!
get out quick!
Hit the fucking fire alarm!
Not good.
What?
The power's
Hit
out!
it again!
The fucking power's
What
out.
do you mean?
Can't you see?
Can't you hear?
Can't hear anything!
Exactly, no pumps, no alarms, no nothing.
The constant vibration has vanished.
Absolutely dead and silent.
The monster has stopped.
Why aren't the water pumps kicking
They've
in?
been switched to manual.
What?
There's divers below in the water. We had to switch over to manual so they wouldn't get sucked into the intake.
Well, how do we turn them on?
We can't do it from here. We need to go to D module.
Where the hell is D module?
There.
There's a flaming pyre where D module used to be. Buckled steel and smoke.
The firewalls between the modules should have restricted the damage.
But they were never built to withstand explosions.
On an oil rig? Are you kidding me?
Too expensive.
They could hold back an oil fire for 5, maybe 6 hours, but they crumpled like tin foil under the force of a gas explosion.
Just like the control room, built right on top of the gas conversion unit and destroyed in an instant by the blast.
There's only time to send one distress signal.
Mayday, mayday, explosion and fire on the rig, and we're abandoning the rig!
Before the fire consumes the control room.
Killing the power, cutting all lines of communication.
Leaving 200 men stranded on a burning city in the middle of the ocean.
In the rec room, there's nothing but dust and darkness. I stumble into the corridor and there's all these people just looking rattled and confused, shouting and talking, wondering what the hell's going on, but there's no alarms or anything, which is weird. And I've no fucking idea what just happened, and I don't want to stick around to find out, so I head back to my cabin to grab the essentials, my wallet, my passport, my book. Trust me, you'll need it. It's a long night in those lifeboats, you don't want to get, bored. The last time we evacuated, I was bobbing up and down in a lifeboat for 6 hours with 12 other lads with their thumbs up their arses and bugger all to do. When I get into the cabin, my 2 roommates are already in there and Charlie's joking and joshing. Bloody hell, me man! That's what he calls me. What have you done now? But there's a wee tremor in his voice and I can tell that he's frightened. My other roommate, Ian, is on the floor folding laundry and he's got a bloody great gash on his forehead. He's rolling up socks into balls like a madman. I've got to sort my laundry out, Bob. Emma will kill me if I don't have any clean laundry. Ian, man, what are you doing? There's no time for that. No, she'll kill me if I've got no clean clothes. He just wants to look clean. He just wants clean undies for the paramedics, don't you? You just want to look nice for the nurses, don't you? Ian, mate, just don't worry about it, okay? We'll straighten it all out with Emma, but we need to get going, yeah? We need to be getting out of here. Aye, says Charlie. Sooner we get to the lifeboats, no. Sooner we get to the mainland and then into the pub. Back in the corridor, it is pandemonium. Everyone is shuffling and pushing, and the three of us agree that we will stick together no matter what. But the smoke's curling up through the floor tiles, so we grab a few hand towels and we dunk them in the water to help us breathe. And then we start knocking on the doors as we go, just in case anyone's hurt and they need help. We make it into the galley, and there's hundreds of people in a panic. No one has got a bloody clue what's happening. I hear someone say that a gas pipe has exploded. When one of the emergency exit doors opens and a burst of bright flames, orange and angry, rears up from the outside. Close the door! Close the fucking door! Someone screams. His face is covered in burns and blisters, his skin is red and raw. Okay, everybody, just calm down. One of the management is up on the table, shouting and flapping his arms like a fucking pelican, calling for calm. There's been a fire! There's been an explosion! Oh, really, pal? Do you think? We've got to get to the fucking lifeboats. Look, it's no longer safe for us to go out there, but if we all just stay here, then we'll be safe. The accommodation block is fireproof. There is no way that these flames are going to get in. If we just sit tight and keep calm, we are following the protocol. The authorities have been alerted, a distress signal has been sent, and as we speak, they are on their way to evacuate us by helicopter. Helicopter, my ass! Have you seen it out there? There is no way we're getting a heli out of here. Look, everything will be all right if we just sit tight and keep calm.
Then, all of a sudden, the lights go out.
The room plunges into black.
And 100 fully grown men shit themselves.
Me included.
People are screaming and management's pleading, waving his arms and calling for calm, following the protocol, the safety handbook.
Stay where you are, stay calm, and you will be fine. The accommodation block is fireproof. There is nothing to fear. Just stay calm, stay put, and help will be on its way shortly.
Unaware that barely 50 feet away, dark, fiery plumes of smoke are pouring out the wreck of B module.
That a shower of shrapnel has punched through the pipes.
And that crude oil is bleeding all over the deck.
Creating a 150-metre wide pool of combustible blackness that oozes and spills over the lips of the rig and onto the dive deck below.
Where it should slide through the grates below and disappear into the sea,
Taking the fire with it.
extinguishing the flames.
Only someone left a tarp down earlier while working.
Probably a diver, protecting their bare feet from the sharp metal grates underfoot.
A small kindness that will cost over 100 men their lives.
The oil pools on the tarp and burns bright beneath a particularly vulnerable section of pipeline.
Here,
Here.
Here.
The Tartan riser. It's a 12-mile tube full of 450 tonnes of natural gas.
connected to two neighbouring rigs,
Tartan and Claymore.
both of which are still pumping hundreds of thousands of barrels of oil and tons of natural gas right into the heart of Piper.
Unaware it's not heading back to shore, but instead simply feeding the flames.
Which are dimly witnessed 12 miles away in the control room of Tartan, 22 miles away on Claymore, like a red envelope of flame on the horizon.
They think something's wrong with Piper.
But they've no real idea what's happening.
A brief mayday and then nothing. They can't get through to them on the radio, no one's answering.
What should they do?
Should they start an emergency shutdown?
No!
Keep on pumping.
That's the message.
Unless you hear from management on the mainland to cut off the oil and shut down production, you keep pumping.
The oil must always keep flowing.
The oil must never stop flowing.
For all Tartan and Claymore know, they may already have it under control. They may have it contained.
No point shutting it down if we don't know what's happening.
Telemetry doesn't show any problems.
Aye, but it wouldn't be the first time telemetry's gone
The
wrong.
monitors say the pressure in the pipe is stable.
If there was a problem, they'd know. The monitor would say so.
Besides, do you know what a shutdown without direct say-so from management? Do you know what that means? Stoppage of work, investigations, millions of dollars of piss down the drain. Not to mention the fucking end of someone's career.
You want to be the big man that pulls the plug for no reason?
So they keep on pumping the oil diligently. Both Tartan and Claymore keep pumping oil and gas across the ocean floor and right into the heart of the fire.
We're at 10:20 p.m. After 20 minutes of punishing, merciless heat, the gas line known as the Tartan Riser gives up the ghost.
And 12 miles of pressurised gas erupts.
Did you see that? Did you fucking see that? Feels like the sky split in two and the fist of God smashed into the rig. When I came out my room and I saw all those people all running for the galley, I don't know why, but something inside just said, just go, just get the fuck out of the deck and don't stop. But now I'm out on the deck and the flames and the sparks and the cinders are searing my skin. My eyes are burning, my eyelashes singed, the soles of my shoes are starting to actually melt. I can barely see where I'm going when I trip and fall face first into a blackened, charred body. It's all naked, the clothes burnt right off his back. It's nothing left but the elastic band for his boxers. I push myself to my feet. Ah, Christ! The metal's so hot that it burns my fucking hands. I'm off to the main deck, down a staircase, half on my feet, half on my arse down to 60-foot level. The smoke is so thick that I can't see, but it breaks for an instant, and I see these fellas with a hose pipe hanging over the edge. They're queuing up to climb down in a nice little line like they're in fucking Tesco or something, and I think, these guys are right fat bastards. How are they going to make it down? How am I? I look down at my waist, at my podge. Maybe I should have done some fucking exercise instead of sitting around on my arse, and I'm out on the edge with the sea in the front and the fire behind, the hose in my hands. And somebody's screaming, go, go, go! Fucking move! And then, only then do I remember, I've no fucking clue how to swim.
A retch all over my hands. It's the smoke, so thick and so black in my lungs. I'd wash them, but there's no water. There's no fucking water anywhere. The hoses are useless. The taps, the pressure's dead. I can see in the kitchen men raiding the shelves, looking for anything to cool off. Some guy smashed open a tin of tomatoes and he's pouring the juice all down his face. We're huddled on the floor under the smoke. I don't know what to do, I don't. Your man from management says sit tight, and I mean, he knows what to do, right? He's in charge, he's got radios and handbooks and a torch. He's prepared for this kind of thing. One guy, probably from the drill team, he must be 6'6", built like a brick shithouse. He's crying like a fucking baby. Big tears down his face and beard. I want to lean over and say, hey, it's okay, we'll be okay, yeah? If we just stay here and wait for the choppers like they said, like management said, then everything's going to be okay.
Is anyone here from Arkwright? Is there anyone here from Arkwright Chemicals? I'm shouting over the panic, the roar of flames and chaos. I'm looking for anybody I know, anyone. But everyone here is a stranger. People I've never met before, never even spoken to, and I realise, quite suddenly, if I stay, I will die in this room all alone. I will die surrounded by 200 men, and every single one of them strangers. I can't have that. I can't. I will not die here alone. I will not die here alone. I will not die here alone. Through the doors to the kitchen, I see 4 men in a line, each with his hands on the man in front. They're making a break through the flames. I grab this guy by the waist, hold him so close I can feel his heartbeat and smell the sweat off his back. It feels so odd and intimate, but instead of shoving me off, he yells, hold on, pal! As he pulls me closer and squeezes my hand. Did he let go? We burrow through the darkness, in the fire, drilling like a worm through earth. I have no idea where we're going. I can't tell up from down. I try to breathe and to focus on the man in front. My steps, one in front of the other. Keep holding on, don't let go. When all of a sudden I stumble and fall. I fall flat on my face and I scream, wait, come back! Keep going! Please come back, please, don't leave me, please! I shout again, but I can't. There's smoke in my lungs and my eyes. I can't see a thing, I can't breathe. Oh God, oh God, oh God! It's the man from before. I got you, pal! Hold on! He grabs my arm, drags me to my feet, and we're moving. No time to think. As we push through the corridors till we break through a door and into the light, and I grasp for fresh air, only to see rings of flame and thick black smoke spiraling upwards into the pale night sky. Up! We've got to go up! The stranger screams. Head for the helideck! We need to get up!
We need to head down to sea level, Charlie's screaming. The 3 of us, Charlie, Ian and I, have managed to get out onto the deck, and I have never seen anything like it. The air is on fire. The air is literally on fire. Charlie pushes ahead, barrels onto the gangway and down to the derrick, trying to make for the sea. I'm right behind, but I can see up ahead that the pipes are, well, they're starting to melt like butter, warping and dripping and turning to mush. It's like a fucking Dali painting or something, and I can't. Valentine! What are you doing? Come on, wee man, we've got to go! I'm not going that way. Valentine, come on, for fuck's sake! We don't have time to fuck about! I'm not going. I don't trust it. I mean, it looks like they're walking straight into hell, and I just know, if I go that way, I will never, ever come out alive. Don't be a fucking idiot, man! It's a clear run down to the sea! No, just go on without me, I cried. Just go on, I'll find another way. I'll see you down by the water, just go!
The guy sitting on my head is screaming at me. Move your fat fucking arse or I swear I'll kick you into the fucking sea. I'm frozen halfway down the hosepipe, hanging like a fucking conker, 45 foot over the ocean, and the guy above me is practically sitting on top of my fucking head. Move it, you fat sack of shite! I can't! Fucking move! I can't! I fucking can't!
Jesus Christ, my fingers are burning. I'm clung to a ladder of pipes like a beetle crawling downwards and praying to Christ that I don't lose my grip, that I don't lose my footing. There's a gangway, maybe about 4 feet away, and I tried to reach out, but my arm's too short. Charlie was right to call me wee man. I stretch out my hand again, stretch so far that I think it might snap, that my arm might just like pop out of my socket.
Someone takes hold of my hand. It's the big fella, the guy from before. He's crying and gripping me tight, and I grip back too. And I can hear through the tears that he's praying. I don't know what he's saying, but I'm sure it's a prayer.
Hand over hand, we climb up. Onto the tool shed and onto the roof. Higher and higher. Palms blistered. Muscles burning. I collapse on the helideck. 170 feet above the sea. Hot metal pressed to my cheek. Flames leaping up all around us. So hot. So thirsty.
And I'm not religious or nothing, I don't believe in any of that guff. But his hands are shaking and sweating. His voice is hoarse and broken. And I realise he's praying for water.
Dear God, please, we need
Rain?
Oh my God, can you see it?
There. Can you feel it?
Can you see it beating against the windows?
Falling from the sky. It's rain.
Jesus Christ, that's fucking rain, can you see it? You prayed for it and it came, man, it fucking came!
Rainwater. It's
salty. It tastes of salt.
Salt water.
seawater. Pumped from the ocean and over the deck in arcing jets from the firefighting support vessels scattered about the rig.
Armed with high pressure water cannons, pivoting their jets towards the monster.
Dousing the raging flame.
Come on, you bastard, come on!
The fire wails and thrashes, shrieks and screams, but still it rages on.
It's too far gone, there's no stopping it.
But maybe they can buy the men on board some time to escape.
Cool water falls on my cheeks and I swear I could fucking cry. I fall to my knees and lap like a dog at a filthy oil-stained puddle pooling on the deck. The sweetest thing I drunk in my whole fucking life.
The mist of water pushes back the smoke for just a second and... There. Look there, down there, a few hundred yards across the cellar deck, it's Charlie and Ian! Oh, they've made it, they've fucking made it! And in the water, boats. Three little rescue boats. Charlie! Ian! We're saved!
The rain falls on the windows, and I make a solemn vow to never ever complain about rain as long as I fucking live. Not ever again in my whole fucking life.
When they were alive.
At 10:50, another explosion shatters Piper.
The second gas riser, MCP-01, has burst, shooting 1,200 tons of gas
3 times as much as the last explosion.
straight into the fungus.
Like a shot of adrenaline straight to the heart.
The monster roars and sends out waves of flames.
Up towards the sky and down to the sea.
The whole rig is consumed.
I've no time to scream as the flames engulf Charlie and Ian. The boat swallows them whole and they're gone just like that. There's nothing left but ashes and tatters.
The force of the explosion jolts me, and I lose my grip. I feel the hose slip through my fingers.
Feel a growing thunder beneath. Then a 50-foot fireball rears up from behind like an animal.
I fall, like a stone through the air.
I grab the railing, vault it, and then fall.
I turn without thinking and run faster than I ever thought I could. I don't stop. Just keep going till I reach the edge. Throw my weight forward and jump into the air from the highest point of the rig. 170 feet. 50 metres above the churning ocean, flames lashing my back, burning my skin and searing my flesh. And the last thing I think before I fall, the last thing that goes through my mind is, what the fuck have I just done?
When a body is in free fall, it accelerates 20 miles an hour for every second in the air.
After 3 seconds, you're at 60 miles per hour.
After 6 seconds, 120.
Terminal velocity. The point where wind resistance is so great that you can't fall any faster.
Those who jump from the helideck, and there are many, fall for just 6 seconds but still reach terminal velocity right before they hit the water.
An object travelling at that speed does not allow the water particles time to move aside.
The water turns as hard as concrete.
Breaking their bones, rupturing their organs. Their life jackets shoot up round their throats, snapping their necks, killing them in an instant.
All except one?
A solitary figure falling through space, still on fire as he enters the water at 120 miles per hour, breaking through a sheet of concrete and into the depths of the sea.
I feel absolutely nothing as I hit the water. Not a single thing. No pain, no pleasure, force or flames. For a moment, I've no idea where I am. Can't hear or see anything but darkness. Then a rush of air flees my lungs and a cold barb of salt water stings my insides, and I realise I'm 20 feet below the surface and falling. I don't know how I swim upwards, but something inside me keeps me going. I crawl through the cold and the dark, thrash my arms, kick my legs till at last I break the surface and gulp for air, and I can see the sea is completely on fire. Oil curling through the water like a nest of eels, burning bright and terrible.
The flames have become so intense, over 900 degrees, that the lifeboats have to retreat. Their hulls blistering, the oil in their engines bubbling, the crew's helmets melting on top of their heads. If they don't retreat, they'll be roasted alive.
I cling to the leg of the rig and watch the lifeboats flee. What are they doing? Don't fucking leave us, come back! Come back, you bastards, come back! I should swim after them, make a go for it. But I can't let go of the rig. I'm frozen fucking solid, gripped in fear, watching the steam rise off the water as the sea boils around me. And then all of a sudden I see this fella thrashing about in the water. He's drowning. He's going under.
Fucking hell, how stupid is this? To have come all this way through the flames and the fire, to have leapt for the jaws of hell just to drown.
Hold on, pal, I've got you.
2 arms wrap underneath my shoulders and pull me towards the light. We break the surface and I can't see anything. The sea, the sweat, the flames. But I feel this man's breath at the back of my neck as he paddles me through the water. And all I can say is, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, but I don't know how to swim.
That's alright, pal, don't be sorry. I'll swim for us both, yeah? I'll swim. But this guy weighs a ton. And I can barely keep kicking. And I think for a moment, well, why not? Why not just let go? Just let us sink. I mean, we've come this far, that's enough. Why not just give up? Just give in. Just let the water have us. Just let go. Slide into the dark and the deep. Then I remember. I've got a holiday booked. With Pat, south of France, 3 weeks. It's all booked and all paid, and I am fucked if I'm going to lose my deposit. And Clyde are playing in the cup. You think I'm going to miss that? And Amanda, my girl, my wee girl. I haven't seen her in years, 6 years, not since the divorce. Angry words shouted down a phone.
I can hear my mum asking, are you sure you wouldn't be happier with somebody else, pet? Oh, Mum, I'm not having this conversation.
You're just like your mother, you know that? You're just like
Mum, you're not listening, Mammy.
Then the slam of a phone and the dial tone, and that is the last thing we ever said to each other.
I stormed out. Not a word to her since. And now I'm here, in the middle of the sea, on fire and drowning. Jesus Christ, please help me. Help me.
The last time.
Please.
I'm not gonna let all that go.
Don't let go.
I won't, man. I won't.
Please.
I hold him real tight, and we float on the current out from under the rig, and the flames are screaming down at us, bellowing. And I shout right back up. No way. No fucking way. You're not having me. Not today, pal. Not today. Do your fucking worst, you fucking bastard!
Don't let go of me, please.
Don't let go, man!
I won't.
Don't let go.
I swear I won't.
Don't let go! I scream as I hold the big man's hand. The fire outside has grown fiercer. My legs have melted. Muscles evaporated. All I've left is the energy to hold the big man's hand. He's still crying, though no tears are coming. I feel his fingers slip from mine, see him falling away through the smoke, but I grip him tight, real tight, pull him close, and I say, hey, wake up, man, wake up! Don't be falling asleep on me, yeah? Don't be... I'm Stuart. My name's Stuart. I'm from Aberdeen. I was studying English. I was going to go to America when this was all over. I was going to go to Louisiana. I'm going to go to Louisiana. Going to go to the swamps. Going to eat... I'm going to eat a fucking alligator! And he looks up at me and he asks, why an alligator? And I say, well, it can't be worse than the fucking food round here. And he laughs and I ask, what's your name? And he says, I'm Wasili from Warsaw. Says he misses the food back home and the people. They're miserable bastards, but he loves them. He loves them so much. Loves his wife, Anya. I say, that's a name. That's a beautiful name, a real beaut. Anya. Tell you what, Wasili from Warsaw. When this is done, I'll come visit. I'll fly out to Poland, look you up. I'll head to Warsaw, and I'll say, I'm here to see Wasili. And he laughs. Says there's a load of Wasilis in Warsaw. And I say, it doesn't matter. I'll find you. I will.
And suddenly it hits.
You see if I don't, pa.
The final explosion.
You see.
The final roar.
You'll see.
At 11:20 p.m.
Barely an hour after the initial explosion.
The final gas riser bursts.
Wasn't a particularly sunny day nor fine, and a dozen little problems kept me more than occupied. Until I rounded Hope Park, Holy Wall, looked ahead to find her in the way, grinning like a misbehaving child. Throw me round and down before I fall.
Back on the mainland, when management finally realise what's happening, they say in no uncertain terms,
Shut down the fucking rig! Shut it down now!
But it's too late.
much too late.
The crane is the first to collapse.
Then the derrick.
The pipe decks tilt to the side, splitting the platform in two.
The steel and timber frame shatters.
The accommodation block, filled with over 100 men,
Men like me, who did what they were told to do and stayed.
collapses and tumbles and falls
Upside down,
into the water below,
Sinking like a stone.
flooding with water.
coming to rest on the seabed.
11 a.m. soon became 1 a.m. and the next day, and it seems I've spent some 20 years just gazing at her face, and in her eyes she seemed to know me, seemed to search into my soul. Throw
monster is finally vanquished. The lifeboats try their best, but they are woefully ill-prepared.
One vessel left shore with no bulbs for the searchlights.
Men must scour the waters with torches, slaloming amidst the wreckage of timber and driftwood.
Life jackets, broken furniture, hard hats and paper bags, a floating box of cigars.
Trails of blazing oil that slither over the water.
The fire is still raging.
But the sea is cold and black, and men have been out there an hour already.
Everyone knows that whatever you do, no matter what happens, you never go into the water.
If you go into the water, you die.
Hypothermia will kill you, shoot as flames.
Between the upward swell and seasick sinking of the waves, they can see boats in the distance and helicopters overhead. The sky alight with searchlights and rotors.
No, they can't come any closer. The superheated air threatens to melt their blades.
When they finally find me, clung to a 5-gallon drum, a man covered in soot and filthy with sweat drags me shivering and burning onto the boat. I'm taken on board with 3 others they've managed to pull from the water, and we're laying up against the engines to get warm, wrapped up in tin foil and blankets. The guy next to me is so burnt, I can see his skull through the skin. The fire has burnt right through. A man comes over and says, "I need you to talk to your friend." "What?" "I need you to talk to that fella." He points to a man lying like a beached whale in the belly of the boat. "I need you to keep him conscious. Under no circumstances, let him sleep. You understand? He drifts off. You keep talking. You hear?" "But I don't know." I say, "I don't know what to say, what to ask." "Well, why not start with his name? You could figure out the rest from there."
I try to climb, but my hands are so blistered, so numb that I can barely clasp the neck. In the end, 3 fellas, Norwegians, I think, they tie a rope around me and they heave me onto the deck like a fish. They keep telling me to have a shower, have a hot shower, I need to get warm, hypothermia, but there's no fucking way I'm getting a hot shower. No after that. I'm so tired. I just want to close my eyes and...
Hey you, mate. Mate.
What?
What's that?
I look down and I see I've still got my book in my pocket. Candide.
Any good?
Aye,
What's it about?
It's about this kid and all the shite he gets up to and everything goes horribly fucking wrong.
Right?
No, it's a comedy.
Oh yeah, sounds hilarious. Do you like Bill Murray?
The actor?
Yeah! I bloody love him.
Do you?
I saw Ghostbusters 6 times, when it came out.
I've never seen it.
You're kidding. Oh, you got to see it, man. It's an absolute banger.
Yeah?
Yeah!
Maybe when I get back, onto the mainland.
I'll go with you.
Yeah?
If you like. I mean, I've seen it 6 times. 7 won't hurt.
I'm Bob.
Mahmood. It's nice to meet you.
Aye, you too, pal. You too.
2 men pull me out the water, cradling my head like a baby and carry me into a bright room full of beds and blankets and screaming, crying men. Someone's peeled my wet clothes off and swaddled me in an aluminium foil blanket. Some guy comes over with a cup of tea and a biscuit. "There you go, pal. Get that down your neck and get warm." The burns on my face are throbbing, but they're all at ice packs, so they hand me a bag of frozen peas. Bachelors. The kind my mum used to cook when I was away. "A pile of peas fit for a king," she'd always say. Slathered in butter and warm, piled high on my plate. Us 2 across the table at dinner. Food and smiles. Or laughter. I need to talk to my mum. I need to talk to her now. I stumble up to the bridge, naked except for my aluminium blanket crinkling like a baked fucking potato, and I go to the captain and I say, "I need to use your phone. I need to talk to my mum." Mate, I can't help you just now. I've got calls coming in from all over the wire. She's not heard from me and she'll be worried, she'll be frightened. I'm all that she's got. She'll be, please, she'll be frightened. She'll be, mate, listen, mate. I can't help you right this second. But if you give me 5 minutes, yeah? Just give me 5. You sit there for a moment, sit tight, and I'll see what I can do, yeah? I'll see what I can do. So I do like you asked and I sit. Nice and quiet on a chair in the corner. Not moving. And your words chased round and round in my head last night. They chased their own tails. And your words jigged round my mind all night. To look at me now, I'm quiet as sound. And a little while later, he comes over. He asks me a number and then I can hear a voice on the line. Mom? Mommy? I'm fine, Mum, I'm fine. I just, there's been an accident. Oh, but I'm alright. Yeah, I'm okay. I promise. Don't worry. I'm fine. I'm safe. Look, I can't talk. I can't talk now, yeah? There's folk needing to use the phones, but I'll call as soon as I get back, yeah? As soon as I get back, I'll call. I love you too, Mammy. Oh, I love you. And the tide shrinks back into its womb. And I hope the empty shells and bones of your stories will litter and clutter the shores. And I hope that when I find them, I'll remember how they danced and the racket they made when they were alive.
The fire rages nearly for 4 weeks.
Day and night the sea burns and it burns and it burns.
For 15 hours a day, the firefighters battle the flames through the swells of the ocean and the howling rain.
Till at last, with a gasp, it's done.
Gone.
For good.
For now.
200 people are rudely awoken in the middle of the night with the news that the sea is on fire.
Mothers and fathers, wives and children, they drop everything and drive without stopping to the doors of the Aberdeen Royal Infirmary.
Mum and Dad arrive amidst a multitude of wailing faces, asking everyone they can, have you seen our boy? Have you seen... His name's Stuart Sutherland, he's a cleaner, he works on the rig. About 5'10", brown eyes, brown hair, have you seen him?
It's not just the families who attend the hospital. The great and the good all descend.
The board of directors, the chair, Prime Minister, Prince of Wales, they come to pay respect, give sympathy.
Look in the eyes of the men, see their wounds, their scars and skin and blisters, their broken bones, their blackened lungs and charred insides.
Dr. Armand Hammer, CEO of Occidental, personally promises to match the disaster fund pledged by Prime Minister Thatcher. £1 million apiece. Before he makes a quiet goodbye and then leaves out the back door, never to come back to Aberdeen.
Never to come back to the North Sea.
Neither did Occidental. They sold everything to Alf Aquitaine for over $1 billion.
The replacement platform cost £2 billion more.
The investigation took 18 months and cost them £110 million. That's what Occidental paid out in the end, to the survivors and the dead alike. 221 men on board, 167 dead.
497,000 each, give or take.
Which in barrels, at the peak of Piper's heyday back in 1979, is 12,000 barrels of oil per man.
Or roughly 1 hour's pumping on a rig.
That is the cost of a man's life.
In 1 week, Occidental had paid their debt to the living and the dead. By 2022, they have $60 billion in assets and counting.
The money keeps on flowing.
So long as the oil keeps flowing.
The oil can never stop flowing.
Come wind.
Or rain.
Or fire.
The oil must never stop flowing.
Dozens of men were back on the rigs within months.
Within weeks.
Back to working and grafting, earning.
Heads down, keep on going.
Not me, mind.
Or me.
I wouldn't be going back to anything.
I'd lost a stomach for it, you know.
Not like I've got a fucking choice or anything though, is it?
I couldn't see the point of it anymore.
Oh, not like I can do anything else for myself, back on land.
I've lost my faith in it, I guess.
I've got to earn a living somehow. Fucking bills not going to pay themselves.
They promise to look after you, the bosses. They promise you, they promise everyone. But I don't believe it anymore. God knows what the fuck I'm going to do now.
I've still got a mortgage and a family to feed. 2, actually, now. Pam's got one in the way. That's our first.
Mum slept in my bed for the first 6 weeks. Dad couldn't even set foot in my room. Eventually they just left it all as it was. Stack of vinyl in the corner gathering dust. Old shirts hung up in the wardrobe. A dog-eared copy of Shelley by the side of my bed.
I did see Amanda in the end.
But I am chained to time, my love, and cannot thence depart.
When she heard about the fire, well, she called and we talked, and I went to see her and her mum. And it was hard at first. It was fucking hard. It's like thumbing a bruise over and over, you know.
Of course it was hard going back.
But nothing worth having was ever easy.
Well,
Right?
that's no the point, is it? Yeah, that's no the... There's a job that needs doing and you've got to do it. That's why it's called a job, yeah? I mean, somebody's got... You think doctors and nurses can just stop working, aye? You think firefighters can be like, I know the day, pal, I don't feel like it. That's not how it works, yeah? That's not how it fucking works. Do you know what happens if I stop? If we all just stopped? How long would have left? 21 days. That's how much we have in reserve. If the oil rigs and the derricks stopped pumping right now, all over the world, if every single one of them stopped pumping, we'd have 21 days in reserve.
21 days of oil.
21 days of light.
21 days of heat.
And then,
Nothing.
No cars.
No planes.
no TV.
No internet.
No bread on the shelf at the shops.
Think about that when you get in your car.
Or when you open the fridge door for your dinner.
When you turn your phone on, you text your mammy.
What are you going to do when those 3 weeks are up?
We're just 21 days from nothing.
21 days from absolute chaos.
Remember that when you go home tonight.
And if you can't remember that,
Remember us.
The ones at the other end of the light switch.
The ones keeping the darkness at bay.
the last line of defence between this, all of this, and nothing.
Remember us,
The ones on the rigs.
Underground,
Down the pit.
the ones at the bottom of the ocean.
on the raging sea in the driving rain.
We're the ones keeping us safe from the dark.
For as long as we can.
We'll be here,
At the edge of chaos.
Keeping the fires burning.
Keeping the darkness at bay.
waiting.